And you left out the most important one, which is the Cocaine Bear. I mean, you guys are in the Cocaine Bear movie, right?
I just heard about that.
What, are we in that?
Yeah.
Oh, you're learning about this for the first time now?
I kind of intrigued by this film. I want to see this.
Dave Gahan, Martin Gore, Depeche Mode. It's an honor to be able to say that for now the 5th decade, we have new music of yours to play on K-Rock. What a relationship that we've had together. And I know that when you talk about bands, you were inspired in so many ways by Bowie because emotionally kind of always evolving. And then I think of all the artists that we play on K-Rock, right? The Killers, and 9 Inch Nails, and Muse, and all these bands, Coldplay, that have mentioned you are their inspiration. Depeche Mode is the inspiration for these artists and these bands. And I always wonder, when you hear that from a band and you don't like the band, do you go, oh no, that's not good about us? Or do you say, wow, that's so cool that we played a part in that band and then becoming that band?
I think we're always quite flattered.
Yeah,
across the board, it's sort of, if you inspire anybody to make music or to try it for themselves or in any way, shape or form, we must be doing something good. And as because that was the same for us. There's, like you talked about Bowie, and there's this inspiration to want to join that club.
Do you ever hear yourselves in other bands and think to yourself either, oh, I wish we had done that, or that sounds like something we could have? I hear us in that.
They've stolen our sound and they've done it better. No, we don't really. Bands who say they're inspired by us, it's very flattering. But I don't often think that they really sound that much like us.
No, I think as well that's an interesting point, because I think quite often as well they're not trying to sound like us. It's more like the fact that we kind of were very much do it yourself. We kind of built our own thing, and we, like, with the help of people like you, got our music out there, in a very sort of alternative way. And it wasn't the norm. It's never been normal. Depeche Mode has never been a kind of band that you could put into a category. And also we, with the help of others, people like Daniel Miller, and different producers and engineers over the years, that we created something that has become, its own thing. And I think other bands and artists are inspired by that idea as well, that you've got to go your own way. You'll be told to do this and do that and go in this direction, and you'll have a hit if you do this and you do that. We never really, that wasn't something that we ever played into. When
you put a new show or tour on the market, do you get anxious and go, I wonder, are we going to sell? Do you know it's going to sell out right away? Do you still ask for an update? How quickly did it sell out, or do you not care about that at all?
Of course we care about it. No, but we were told, very quickly by our manager how well things were going, and it's incredible. The tickets are just flying, and the single is just getting an amazing response too. And maybe it's come along at a fortunate time in our career. Fortunate for us that we've released something that's probably more commercial than anything we've released in a long time, but it's come along at the right time after the spike of the Enjoy the Silence TikTok thing and The Last of Us, Never Let Me Down Again. Maybe all of that coming together has really culminated in this big explosion.
And you left out the most important one, which is the Cocaine Bear. I mean, you guys are in the Cocaine Bear movie, right?
I just heard about that.
What, are we in that?
Yeah.
Oh, you're learning about this for the first time now?
I kind of intrigued by this film. I want to see this.
It's let me tell you, I saw it. It's an amazing movie. But when your song hit, it was like the perfect. I always believe music can do this, and it's one of the magical things. It just can't get enough at a time when the bear's got a face full of cocaine, and it was a beautiful moment, really magical.
That song has been used in so many forms, for so many different metaphors, but. Yeah, the bear with his face in a bowl of cocaine or whatever that is, that's gonna take the biscuit.
It's funny because now you get all these new young fans from the HBO and the Cocaine Bear, etc. That when you see a 12-year-old walking around wearing a Depeche Mode shirt, is that a strange feeling for you guys to think, wow, we performed in 1980 and here you are now just discovering this band for the first time? I actually heard someone at the end of your episode of HBO, they go, this new band is amazing. And I was like, what new band? And then I realized they were talking about Depeche Mode.
that's one of the really interesting things, and has always been cool about Depeche Mode, and about, like, we, even on the last tour, we were amazed by, we have our fans and we have people that have been coming to our shows, yeah, for 40 years or something, but then there's also a whole new audience every time. I don't know if that's because it's generations of families where it's just they've been forced to listen to our music, or it is a new discoveries. You know, it's like once in a while something like this show happens, like The Last of Us, and a song comes, and I think the next day after that there was literally people. Yeah, there was, I know, on Twitter or whatever it is, you know, the most searches for, or Shazam for, who is this band? Like, I think at one point we were at the top of that search, you know. Yeah. This happens sometimes throughout, if you last the test of time, and we kind of, I guess, have, for a rock and roll band, or, you know, any kind of, whatever you want to, however you want to describe that. You know, I think at certain points, something aligns. I don't know what that is, like things. And it just, right now, I think Martin and I are quite fortunate, especially as we've been through a lot in the last year. And it's still, this is still a thing that we're going through, having lost Fletch. Things change, and something is shifting, and things, for some reason that you don't really know. You don't really know what's going to happen next.
Was there a moment when you got the sad news that you thought that was the end of Depeche Mode? Did you feel like this is an obligation or responsibility now to keep the band going, to keep kind of the spirit of Fletch alive, as you kind of made? I know this album was kind of written prematurely to his death, but how did it feel personally for you guys?
Well, obviously it was you know, really tough, but we had a schedule already booked that Andy was due to, you know, join us with and start recording the album, and we decided that it was better for us to carry on with that schedule, because we could focus on music, something that we were both passionate about, and, you know, something that we could get lost in. And I think that really helped us at that time to get over Andy's loss.
And it's, you know, it's important. I think when you lose someone, like, you know, it's, you know, you don't really, it's something you learn to deal with. You don't really get over it, you know. And I mean, my experience of losing people that are close to you. And Fletch is just someone that we've spent the best part of our adult lives with, day in, day out, sometimes for years together at any particular time. That has changed forever. I think we're still learning how to come to terms with that.
What do you think?
The music, as with anything in life, has always helped to, and always is part of that change, and that acceptance, and that you know, journey of life. You know, music is something that is very important to Martin and I, and has been throughout all of our lives.
How do you think Fletch would feel about the album? Like, if it one sentence review, you think he would like it?
Some of it. He might have something to say about all the songs being about death.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he was the band's biggest fan.
Yeah.
You know, I think honestly, out of all of us, he was the one who loved being in the band the most.
Yeah.
And, you know, would be its biggest advocate wherever he went. Ultimately, he would have come to terms with this record no matter what. He would have loved it.
He would definitely have had something to say about the title. He would definitely have something to say about a lot of the songs leaning towards death and mortality, and but there are there's song, for instance, like Ghost Again. I'm pretty sure that from the off and from the get-go, just like I was when I first heard this song when Martin sent it to me as a demo, like I knew that this song was going to sort of be something really special for this record, and I know that Fletch would have been the same with that as well.
Gentlemen, thanks so much. Good talking to you again.
Yes, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.